Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Mana Dorks Podcast, Episode 3. I'm Tasty Snacky, as always with my co-host, Mick B. How's it going?
Hello.
Hello, indeed. How has your week been, sir?
Not too bad. Sorry about the delay on Tuesday, man. That was no good. I was just like, all of a sudden, migraine. And suddenly, migraine.
And then migraine. It's all good, man. Sickness gets the worst of us, and besides, we've never been known as a professional podcast anyway, so.
That's true. But we're already back at it, so whatever.
Exactly. Even if it is a couple days late. And besides, I'm kind of glad that it is because a new story happened over the past couple of days, and we wouldn't have been able to cover it until next week. And you know how it is. If you're 1 week late on something, it's really boring. So first topic of the day. Actually, you know what? Before we go into the topic of the day, I always kind of like to start off with something casual just to like set the mood, set the tone. As some of y'all may have seen, I am wearing a Jurassic Park shirt. McBee, have you seen the newest Jurassic World?
Negative, I have not.
All right. Well, I'm going to go ahead and delve into a mini non-spoiler insight / review of the movie. I thought it was okay. What's your opinion on the Jurassic Park franchise in general, McBee?
A big fan of it, of the original, 3 movies.
Mm-hmm.
There's the second one, not my favorite, but I liked 1, 3, and the new one with Christopher, what's his name?
Chris something, Beefcake. You like the third one?
Yeah, I like the third one. That's
okay.
William H. Macy, right?
Yep.
Yeah, where they got a bunch of flying dinosaurs in it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I like that one better than the second one where they go back to what is it, San Diego, and San Diego basically just gets fucked.
Yeah, it gets wrecked by a T-Rex. Yeah, that one is actually my favorite of the entire franchise. I don't know. I've been with it since the beginning, as every other fucking person in the world has been with it since the beginning. And I don't remember, but my family told me that the original used to scare the shit out of me. But one of my earliest childhood memories was with the second one. So I think it's that really strong nostalgic connection. So I just really am biased towards it. Jurassic Park 3 is my least favorite of the series. Jurassic World, I really liked it at first, but I kind of got over time just kind of more disenfranchised with it upon multiple viewings, just because it kind of read like a Marvel movie, almost like Marvel movie, but with dinosaurs.
This is Gary, by the way.
Hello, Gary.
My thoughts on the entire franchise are that it's excellent and dinosaurs are awesome. So I think we can all kind of unite behind that one. And even I don't dislike the second one as much as it's just not as good to me as the one with William H. Macy and the OG. I mean, when I was a little kid, though, going to see the original one in theaters, it scared me so bad that I ran out of the theater at the part where the dude's like, "Clever girl," and then the raptors get him. And I was like, "Oh, later," and just bolted.
I will say this about the new Jurassic World. The dude who directed it, J.A. Bayona, I think who he is, he's had experience directing other horror movies. And this movie genuinely not scared me, but got me to move in my seat and shit. He did a really good job. It's by far the best looking Jurassic movie in general. Out of all of them, it straight up just destroys the original and the second one in terms of cinematography and sound design and everything. This J.A. Bayona guy really knew what he was doing. Not to go too deep into spoilers, but I feel like a lot of the reviews for the movie do it injustice because of their criticisms towards it. And I'm not saying that the movie isn't without faults. It is certainly without faults. After watching it and getting to a certain point and noticing extreme tonal shifts within the first act, I kind of realized that the movie is a B movie, and it's a really good B movie. And that's what I came away with when I finished watching it. Then I watched it a second time and I enjoyed it even better. I think this is one of the better Jurassic Park movies. This is up there with the original and the second one, in my opinion. It's not better by any stretch. It really knows what it is. It's a filler point A to point B movie, and it's just let's just go balls to the walls with it.
And there's gonna be a third one probably.
Oh yeah. I'm not gonna spoil it, but there's a third one definitely set up with the ending of it.
You know how I know dinosaurs are awesome, by the way?
Hmm.
They even make magic cards out of them now.
This is true.
Dinosaurs.
That's right. This is a Magic the Gathering podcast. I forgot, not a Jurassic Park podcast.
No, but still, I mean, dinosaurs, magic cards. That's a nice marriage right there. It's nice.
Yeah, but Ixalan was kind of poopy. I didn't like Ixalan.
Yeah.
I like Huatley. Huatley's cool.
I like
you know what else is cool? Faux outrage, especially over use of the word thought.
Oh man, you can't say that. You'll be what, admonished on Twitter?
Yeah, you'll be excommunicated for saying something wrong. So for those of you that aren't aware, there is a pro of Magic the Gathering, obviously, who goes by the name Ben Friedman. And I want to say about a week ago, we're gonna look up the tweet right now. Ben Friedman on Twitter, verbatim. There are too many Twitter thoughts in the Magic multiverse. June 26th.
Can we define the word thought, sir?
Well, the traditional definition is that hoe over there. It's an age-old term. Age-old. It's all the way back from like the 1400s. It's really not. But
it is not from the 1400s. It is not.
No, it really is. It's all the way from the 1400s. Go ahead and look it up in a dictionary.
Stop it.
So he said this over on the internet, and people, especially in the more lefty / SJW side of the Twitterverse, got all up in arms about it because understandably you're using a quote unquote derogatory term, which I mean it kind of is. But what's your take on this first initial tweet of his? If you were on Twitter and you happen to come across this within the hour, what would you say about it?
Well, if I came across it, I would scroll past it and not care. I mean, but people who want to get up in arms about it, I think they have better things to do than police. You
need to be a better representation of the game.
No, fuck that.
No, you don't.
People don't need to police other people's language. If he's going to say things like that, then don't associate it with him. You don't need to virtue signal and put him on blast on Twitter about it. Like, I guess that's the definition of what SJWs do, which is fight for social justice.
You don't need 100% positivity. That's like one of the main critical issues with when I see like we need to spread positivity in our community and everything needs to be positive. It just, I don't know. It comes across more like a brainwashing tactic to me more than it does actually trying to be positive for the community.
Yeah, I think in my personal experience, I would rather take note of something that someone says that you find offensive and commit that to memory so that the next time that you associate or you see a statement from that person that you realized, all right, that person has before made missteps with what I feel are insensitive comments, and that can help you judge them later on. But to try and have them police their speech, it's a waste of time, dude. It's like policing thought.
What are you gonna do? Are you going to ban him?
Yeah,
there's no way that you could ban for that. I mean, they banned Unsleeved Media for kind of the same thing, but this is more of like a joke. But even still, it's kind of a lame joke, anyways. But
yeah.
So he apologized the next day, and this is what he said. He said, "Wow, I woke up and had to look up what thought meant. I was not well informed." Okay, I have to stop right there because you can't use the word thought unironically without knowing what it is because it's so ingrained in internet culture. If you're anyone that's like under the age of 35, you've come across the word thought and you've figured out what it means because of the context. No one has used the word thought in a different context other than the obvious one since, I don't know, forever. So he goes on to say, I believed it meant anyone who preens aggressively on the internet for likes. No, I'm sorry. That's just... Okay. Continues. I'm really sorry that I did something stupid like post without knowing what my words could mean. Really sorry I hurt people. Does that seem like a legitimate apology to you?
Sounds like a pretty scripted out apology. But I mean, yeah. he could mean it. He could mean it if he very well felt that what he was doing was wrong and that he's learned something, then good for him. And if not, if he doesn't mean it, then God will be his judge. Or everyone around him, I suppose.
I feel like his most critical mistake in all of this was apologizing in the first place. I'm not saying you have to like double down at all, but you also don't have to completely cower at this point, because now that I guess this goes into the toxic masculinity territory, but if you show, because I don't know how to word it better, if you show
weakness, Nick,
if you show weakness through apologies, then that makes you way more vulnerable to bullshit from other people who want to find a reason to bring you down in the future, if that's a possibility.
Yeah, if you're already a target, and then to be out there trying to win those people back, I'm sorry, you've already lost them. Those people that think that Ben Friedman did something unforgivable, you may never get their confidence back. But what does that mean to him? Nothing. He's offended some SJWs. I don't know, man. I just move on with your life, and if you wanna be better than that, be better than that, and if not, then live your life, dude. Do it.
It's like random ass internet people, random ass internet friends that like you knew through magic. Like, even if you said something that was that offensive and you managed to piss off like, I don't know, 10, 20 people, and they pieced out and decided not to talk to you anymore. I don't know. That seems kind of not that important, considering how fucking not pointless, but how frail internet relationships are in the first place. So like, what does it even really matter?
Yeah. But like you angered some people on Twitter. Oh well, and dude, wait 15 minutes. Those people will be on to something else.
Exactly.
I mean, they're not gonna raise an angry mob and try and come after you with pitchforks and torches. You know what I mean?
It's so fucking stupid.
Fuck off, people! Y'all don't know where I live. You don't know my life. They're gonna come find you out at a Magic tournament, and they're gonna picket your match. Is that what's gonna happen? People are gonna come out and make a political statement.
We should strike this shot because it hosts this incredibly sexist, misogynistic player. You know what?
This person has thoughts I don't like. Screw this local business.
This thot over here is ruining my fucking vibe, and I don't appreciate it. Ban him, sir. Ban him now.
If that's the stance that people want to take, I'm sorry for them. See that? But you know what? If people want to do that, I guess go live your life. Just do it away from me. Gracias. And not at my local game store. Good Lord.
No.
Like if that guy came to my local game store, would I take up issue with him if he sat down across from me? No, I would want to talk to him. And have
compliment him on his shitty joke.
No, I don't want to have a genuine discussion with him about Magic and about whatever else. He's a celebrated and storied player. Like that sort of nonsense. Would it linger in the back of my mind that maybe he had made a comment like that? No, because that shit doesn't matter to me. But to somebody else, like if they want to take up issue with him, then I don't know, man. That's on them. I think it's better to try and build bridges than tear people down.
Speaking of tearing people down, even though this has absolutely nothing to deal with tearing people down.
Great segue.
Yeah, exactly. What's your opinion on cheesecake?
I'm for it. Covered in caramel and nuts.
What about the other kind of cheesecake? The more
hot
humanoid version?
Like cleavage and stuff?
Yeah, that kind of stuff. How about like beefcakes? How about nice steely-abed dudes?
I say whatever art people deign to submit for Magic cards is probably fine. I mean, if it's within good taste, I suppose.
What if I told you that those kinds of subjects were in fact on their way towards extinction in terms of Magic the Gathering art design? Because they definitely are, because Mark Rosewater himself has stated that he is not down for it. What do you think about that?
That he is not down for chiseled bodies of any kind?
Yeah, showing off the human form, regardless of age or gender. I mean,
you don't want wizards that look like me.
What's that?
Does he want more wizards and Magic cards that look like you or me, or your average, run of the mill female identifying person out there?
To some certain zealots, they may suggests that not only do they want to get rid of the white people, but they want to replace them with POCs. So you're walking a fine line there, sir. I suggest you watch where you're stepping.
Are you what?
Yeah, it's a shitty argument that some people are making. People think
they want to remove white people and just put people of color in Magic cards,
particularly in like Dominaria and Battle Bond. Yes, there's a certain card in Battle Bond where there's a child version of the card Peer, and this person's really upset that the older version has darker skin, and they're like, "Well, they were white before and now they're black." It's fucking stupid.
That's madness, dude. What are people talking about? Nobody's trying to remove anyone from like the imagery. Like, we have an official statement from Mark Rosewater saying that there's to be less beefcake and cheesecake, as it's known, the male and female counterpart versions of those terms.
Exactly.
There's to be less of that, but
yeah. So Zevio on Blogatog asks the question: I noticed there isn't as much cheesecake art in Magic as there used to be. Can you bring us some of that back and put in beefcake art for the ladies too? Gideon seems to be a good candidate for the latter. To which Mark responds, we've made a conscious effort to move away from art that would make a subset of players feel uncomfortable to play it.
Oh my God. What's wrong with having that stuff in art? That people are going to be uncomfortable because of what's depicted on cards? That's really what he thinks?
The way that he words it, the first time that I read it and I reacted, I thought like, okay, I think he means kids. Because when he says a subset of players feel uncomfortable, and the thought in my head doesn't go, okay, people are upset with, the shirtless chiseled ab dude or the chick with the busty bra. Some girls are probably offended about that. But I think that he may be referring towards a younger audience. I think that the game is trying to appeal to a younger demographic. And as a result, they're trying to not include art that their parents would object to. I would assume.
That sucks. That was one of the coolest parts about Magic from the beginning. Like, black cards were sweet, dude. Black cards were sweet back in the day. They had pentagrams and demons and, like semi-Judeo-Christian imagery on some of it. It was awesome.
There was an alpha card that has pentagram in the background, right?
Yeah, like Unholy Strength. The Demonic Tutor is a demon.
Yeah, that has like a pentagram on his forehead or something like that.
Hell's Caretaker. There's Wrath of God. There's all these, references to things that are like...
The game's been inherently offensive from the beginning, but not like trying to be offensive. Well,
no,
maybe with
that's the thing. It's art. It's imagery. It's fantasy. It's what it needs to be, man. People trying to police thought, police images just to cater to a small minority. That's nonsense, dude. Make stuff that's interesting. I know that you have to worry about the minutia of things, and that's how things become interesting, but it just seems like so much effort to try and to cater to people for no reason. Like, you're not helping. I don't feel like you're helping anything by putting a ban on that kind of imagery in cards and in art.
I want to see if they have like a library of emails or complaints about the art in terms of sexuality, because I would assume that it's incredibly smaller than other potentially offensive things. Like, what is it in China? I don't think you can depict anything that has like skeletons or whatever. So I think they moved away from like featuring a lot of skeletons on Magic the Gathering art because they wanted to appeal to China. Maybe this has another thing to deal with it. Maybe some certain governments are really stringent on that kind of shit. I feel like it goes deeper than the SJW thing. And I feel like that has a role. It definitely has a role. It has an influence on the decision. I just feel like there's much more money involved in it.
That is an interesting thought. The like cultural norms of another country and another like a whole other region of the world. You're right. Isn't big on like the zombie and skeletal imagery. Interesting.
Yeah, it's just a weird like side thought that I had, because I try to like maybe and I try to give Wizards of the Coast at least a slight benefit of the doubt that they're not completely taken over by like zealots from the left side, because I don't think that's totally true. I just think that they're a corporation that wants to make money, and they're owned by Hasbro, and Hasbro has a very large interest in maintaining profits, considering that they own stuff like D&D, well, Wizards of the Coast, and Transformers and My Little Pony, you know, stuff that makes them money. And they don't want their card games to be associated in other certain countries with offensive imagery, and therefore lose out on profits. And then like you, by extent, you reach like American culture and like how certain things are becoming more offensive now as a result, like sexual imagery depicting women and like misogynistic views or some stupid bullshit like that. It just, I don't know. It's just a weird cultural thing. I think it's like a weird worldwide cultural thing happening. Good God, I need to drink some water.
Oh, please do. It's important to stay hydrated. I've been saying it for years. The idea that there is a firm rule one way or another on that is the thing, and I'm like, why, dude? Just let people create. If you let people create art, and if there's beefcake in it, then there's beefcake in it. If there's, you know, sexy ladies in it, then, you know, let there be sexy ladies in it. Within reason. You know what I mean? Like within.
I mean, if I'm gonna have to start jerking off to, if I'm gonna have to start winking it to homunculuses, I guess I'll have to do that. But you know,
dude, you need to stop. You need to stop yanking it to magic cards just in general, because
dude, I have so many of them. I don't know what to do with them. Okay, I'm sorry.
They've never really been sexy, Nick.
I don't know. Have you seen some of them?
Like some cards are sexy, and they're like, oh, foil Japanese, you know, Grim Monolith, that's sexy, or like
that's phallic. That's there's a difference.
No, it's not, because it's Jesus Christ. It's it's not because it's phallic. It's because that's an awesome old foil. Man, that's sexy. You know what I mean? Or a beta Nevada.
You tell me you wouldn't bang Sarah Angel?
No.
Why?
If there's dudes that have been out there that have jerked it to Sarah Angel, leave us a comment in the comments below.
Types comment. No.
Stop it. That's ridiculous. There's so much. You have so
much
more access.
What about Chandra? She's pretty fucking hot. Pun not intended. Kind of intended, but
okay. Maybe you have an argument there, but I don't think anyone who's done it to Chandra it's been from a card. It's probably been from some like crazy blown out fan art, you know what I mean?
I was about to say I've
like
been
some crazy DeviantArt shit or something.
I'm gonna let you all in on a secret who's watching right now, and you, McBee. I don't think I've talked to you about it, but I do plan on opening a Pornhub account, because in my curiosity I decided to Rule 34 Magic the Gathering, and I came across a fucking treasure trove of just fantastic. Like I saw sexualized versions of Shriekmaw. That was pretty great. Yeah, of all cards, Shriekmaw.
What?
Uh-huh.
What else?
It goes deep. It goes really deep.
I mean,
there's a lot of
planeswalkers, right? Obviously, all the planeswalkers.
Yeah, like all the female planeswalkers and shit, and like you'll see like Joyra and another Freyalise like getting down on like Karn and Gerard and shit. Like they're going deep, and it's good. It's like decent art too. It's fucking amazing. But I'm going to make a Pornhub account and feature those pictures and go over it and kind of make like a comedic thing, because I want to make a video on it, but you can't do it on YouTube, obviously.
Yo, somebody needs to start servicing Big Papa Karn. Dude, that's
well, and the reason why I kind of brought that up is when I was looking up for that Karn video that I came out with a few weeks ago, I typed down sexy Karn, and I kind of fell through the rabbit hole with that, and then it led me to look to Rule 34 it, and
like next thing you know, I was beating it.
Yeah, because in that Karn video, there's a few frames where he's just kind of sitting back, and you see him being all liberated. It's fucking great.
Well played. Well played. I can't believe there's magic porn on Pornhub.
There's or not Pornhub, but like Rule 34, just the website, rule34.net. There's a lot of it.
I see.
It's like an aggregate for porn, pretty much, for fictional porn. Moving on from that semi-awkward point of conversation.
That's not semi-awkward. That is incredible to me. Like, how many people do you think are out there beating it to Karn and Liliana? Okay, Liliana. I'm not saying
I would assume for a while, because like that Shriek Ma art I was talking about dates back to 2008, so it's been around for quite some time. There's been lots of sperm that's been spilt due to magic art.
Liliana is hypersexualized. I will give you that Liliana of the Veil is a card that certainly I can see having been parodied in some sort of like magic porn something or other. Like, now that I think about it, yeah, 100% on that one.
Mm-hmm.
Chance is 100%. I mean, whatever. If I saw it, I might try it. Whatever.
Well, there's no shame in it. I denounce it. Fuck it. Whatever. Who cares?
Yeah,
we all get to live one life. Just enjoy whatever you want to enjoy, man.
Yeah, I mean, like, you haven't looked up some crazy shit in your life?
Of course.
Yeah, of course.
Everyone has an internet connection. No one is willing to admit to it, but everyone's done some dark shit on the web. Yeah,
P.S. Delete my browser history. Whatever.
Exactly.
I mean, open another incognito tab, right?
Exactly. You gotta kind of like be evasive with it. Well, in your younger years, you don't want your family to know and shit. When you're living by yourself, who gives a fuck? I haven't cleared my browser history in like 5 years. I don't fucking care.
Wow, dude, you're playing a risky game there. What if a family member wants to come in and use the computer?
Whatever. Hashtag Tasty Snackies exposed.
They're gonna, you know what they're gonna do? They're gonna take all those details and they're gonna send them off to Unsleeved Media.
And then he'll make a video on me.
Yeah. About what a sick son of a bitch you are.
And he'll show pictures of my wall. We're getting a bit ahead of topic here. Let's move on kind of to that anyways. So some of you may know who Jeff Hooglin is. For those of you that don't, that could either be a curse or that could either be a blessing or a curse, depending on how you view him.
May I make a statement about one Jeff Hooglin before we advance?
Go ahead.
He's a fine Magic player.
Yeah.
And he provides a great deal of content that is educational and sometimes very entertaining.
Sure.
I have laughed many times at Jeff Hooglin's chat interactions, at what happens on his videos. I'm just putting that out there. Some of his content is fine and dandy. Good for him.
So you're in the camp of, if you don't see his content, it's a curse then?
I think
they're missing out. Is he a...
No. His content is very much like you have to be able to like stomach some of what goes along with those funny moments, because there's sometimes you're like, oh man, it's eye roll, or you're very exposed. He's very exposed the whole time because he just does it for so long, and on a long enough timeline, you're gonna say some silly stuff along the way. I mean, Jesus, we're 3 episodes in, and look at all the dumb shit we've said so far.
Yeah, this is the magic show where we talk about whatever the hell we want to talk about. Consistency is not part of our gig at all.
No, not concerned.
Fuck it. Who cares about professionalism? That shit's for the birds. Birds, whatever. Same thing.
Yeah,
anyways, so Mr. Hooglin, he made a video a few weeks ago, or he didn't make a video. It was clipped from one of his Twitch streams where he was talking about utilizing the word cancer in the Magic the Gathering community, or just gaming in general, and how derogatory it is, and how you're not a respectable person if you don't talk about, or if you use cancer to like describe someone's playstyle or something like that, and just like how it's not conducive to a healthy environment on the internet.
Yeah, if you use cancer in a derogatory term, in a derogatory way, then it is, he says, it is very much frowned upon, and you're an asshole if you do it.
Mm-hmm. Even though this guy is guilty of copyright claiming many videos. If you clip him at all, like making memes or like saying anything mean-spirited about him, and you happen to do feature content about him, he will copyright claim you for no reason, even though it's totally unfair and unjust, because if I have proof, if you go back in my channel about a few months ago when I was uploading like maybe 1 video a month, I made a video interviewing Turn 1 Glistener Elf, and Turn 1 Glistener Elf had made a meme, not a mean meme, but a meme more or less celebrating Hoogland. But prior to that, both Glistener Elf and Hoogland had a dispute. And so Hoogland thought like, oh, this is negative or whatever, and he copyright claimed him. So I interviewed him as a result. And to my knowledge, this video is still copyright claimed. And I tried to contact Hoogland for his side of the story, and I was met with an immediate blocking. So this is the kind of person that we're dealing with.
A blocking.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. That says something in and of itself, doesn't it?
That's kind of normal for him, though. Do you ever like participate in his chats at all or watch his chats during his live streams?
I've not asked for a complimentary timeout, but I have seen quite a few of his chats, and I've seen people get banned. I've seen people get timed out for nonsense, and for certainly like asking or saying like you should have done this, and then not providing enough explanation that he requires of people to provide that sort of feedback, that sort of
I hate that
constructive feedback. He hates that shit too. If you don't come correct with it,
no, I don't mean that. I mean his attitude on it. I hate that. Like, I'm not the type of person to, like, if I were playing, I don't know, a popper game or something, and someone was trying to correct me on it, it doesn't matter. Like, I don't know. Maybe he just doesn't have the patience for it, and he'll just go on a blocky spree, and he would rather see a much more constructive chat, and he wants to see like maybe the chat try to build him up, but I don't think it's healthy at all. But from what I understand, recently he like unblocked a bunch of people anyways. He kind of like cleaned the slate, as it were. I'm still blocked. But so he was making this video complaining about cancer and all this shit, and he like literally fucking read about it, right? So our homeboy, Mr. Unsleeved Media, decided to make a response video about it because, you know, he had to make a response video about it. You know, that's all well and good and whatever. But then he follows it up with another video that came out yesterday. I think it was yesterday, where on Reddit, someone posted saying that they were his brother and were like doing like this weird expose on him and just saying like, Jeff's always been like this. He's always been a garbage human being. He's tried to like get my wife to separate from me and shit. And, you know, Unsleeved Media is using this to his advantage and talking about it. And then he divulges what I would assume, because I tried looking it up to see if it's public information, but someone shared with him pictures of Mr. Hoogland's house, like specific walls in particular. And, you know, that's fine. Whatever. People do that shit. People have sent me messages on the internet divulging personal information of other YouTubers who don't want that shit shared in like an attempt to expose them or whatever. But normally, if you're a good person, you don't try and share that shit on the internet, especially in a vain attempt to get back at them. Would you? If you had the opportunity to do so, would you do that?
That is crossing a line, man. That is crossing a line. That, I mean, how do you not register that as something too far? That you've done something wrong at that point. When you start getting into someone else's like personal life, like you talk about their parenting, about their family, about their, you know, the condition of their home and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. I think that's an insult too far, man. I would take the deepest personal offense to that.
I think his criticizing of the weird, like, public information thrown on Reddit, I think that's fine because it's public information. You can have opinions about that or whatever. But to share the personal information of, like, the insides of the house or whatever, that's near doxing levels without sharing the actual sensitive information to dox them, because that's a personal slice of your life. Imagine if, I don't know, someone just decided to take a picture of the garbage that I have literally right next to me in my fucking room and like how shitty of a lifestyle I live, even though I'm putting myself on blast here. I would not appreciate that at all. So if someone did that to you just out of the blue, because from what I understand, Jeff Hoogland did not personally attack Jeremy or didn't reveal any super personal information. If he did, then I didn't do my due diligence. But from what I understand, Unsleeved Media just kind of went in and took advantage of this information that was shared with him, and I find it incredibly unprofessional as like a way to get clicks and a way to get back at this person because he tried to serve as a moral authority and just like, oh, you can't say cancer or whatever, I'm going to show you or whatever. I find it fucking pointless and moot, and I find it incredibly immature.
Yeah, it certainly registers on the immaturity scale. It's very personal considering the Like, I also get you don't like somebody to police language, which is always a thing that that Jeremy from Unsleeved Media talks about. And God bless him for it. You know, I don't like policing language either. But you're talking about somebody's own chat, like their own chat, something they're hosting. It's their Twitch stream. And he can do what he wants. Do I agree with what he does? No. But does that give me the right then to go and talk that kind of trash about him?
And share
does it give you the motivation?
Personal information and shit. Like there was cut out conversations and shit. I don't know if the conversations were super public or not. I just know that the Reddit post itself was public, and then Jeremy was like, "I'm going to prove that it's real." Show image, show image, show image. Glow about it.
I mean, one thing he didn't do, he didn't put up pictures of his kids or any nonsense like that. That was not done. That was not part of what went on. That would have been a line, way too far. Way too far.
As legendary Mana in the chat points out, Jeremy did have that happen to him, but I don't think that's like any excuse to then return the favor to someone else. Unless it was Hooglin that did it specifically. Even if it was Hooglin that did do that, you can't fight fire with fire in that kind of situation, because that rides a really fine legal line. I'm sure if Hooglin wanted to, he could probably present some sort of action towards Jeremy for this if he wanted to.
I think it's just a shitty thing to do. It's not illegal.
I don't know. Or at least do something about it. I'm sure he could contact YouTube and have them take down the video, because that is divulging private information. I'm not suggesting that he does that, but I'm just saying there are certain consequences to this action in particular. There's a lot of things Jeremy's done and a lot of things that I've defended in the past. This, however, is just way, way over the line, in my opinion.
Yeah, I hope that he does something about this, like either take the video down, or I mean, certainly he shouldn't make any money.
Or re-upload it without the images at least, or like censor them out or something. I don't fucking, it's already been out there. Whoever's already mirrored it has already mirrored it. It's out there. The information's, it's not going to come back in. Pandora's box is open. But like, what kind of slippery slope, what kind of precedent does this set? For not just him, but for the community in general, right?
And think about the kind of people that you loathe in this life. You would put the people who expose people's intimate secrets, the paparazzi of the world, up there on pretty high on the list. Like, I personally am not a fan of folks that chase others around for personal information, like celebrities and shit like that. And you have sort of a quasi thing like that happening here, where you're getting some strange privileged information, and that's going on the internet via Jeremy. And I feel like that's not something that I would ever be interested in, and I wouldn't like to see that happen to anyone else. Like, not even celebrities that I don't like. I don't envy them for the fact that they are chased by paparazzi and they have their personal lives exposed in some way. And to have that happen to Jeff Hooglin, who I am not a huge fan of, but I respect him for the things that he does and the content that he creates, to have that happen to him is shitty. And I sympathize with him, man. I think if he's well within his rights to be like, yo, Jeremy, take this shit down. This is fucked, and you know it.
You know what it is? You know what ultimately is my one word for that? It's creepy. It's really fucking creepy.
Borderline, yes. Very borderline creepy. I agree. It tiptoes into that, and
it's like that weird TMZ kind of, like how you mentioned earlier with paparazzi. It reeks of that like TMZ vibe, with not to like divulge too much into it, but just like in terms of how the video was produced in the first place, and the frequency in which it's uploaded, and the tone in which it's presented. It kind of plays like a TMZ for Magic the Gathering. And you can make that kind of content. That's fine. Whatever. Go ahead. Do it. No one gives a shit. But if you start doing shit like divulging people's personal information, even though you cut out that kind of personal shit, that's like entering a weird like quasi Keemstar, but kind of worse kind of territory.
Yeah, that's not what the internet is for, man. The internet is for videos of people fighting each other and cats and broadcasting Magic the Gathering, not like diming people out super hard for their lack of parenting skills. That's a bad one too, man. I gotta admit, like, you start judging people for their parenting skills, leave that alone. Like, have your own thoughts or whatever, but putting somebody on blast about being a parent is tough no matter what you do. And he had his accusations about, oh, he just sends his kids to daycare and all this crazy nonsense, and I don't know, like, don't go throwing stones, man. Don't go throwing stones that big.
Yeah, exactly. If he's going to continue to do shit like this, eventually someone's going to return the favor to him. Like, worse, maybe, if not. Like, exactly what you said. Don't throw stones in glass houses. Do unto others what you would want to do to you. However the golden rule goes. It's
exactly. Would Jeremy want that done to him? Would Jeremy want to suffer that fate? Would he want to be judged for his parenting abilities if that was part of the deal for him, if that was in the cards for him? Would he want a spotlight shone in his life like that? No fucking way would he want that.
Yeah, I don't actively make videos like criticizing him and like his content and his lifestyle and everything unprovoked. Yeah, he'll do the same to other people for no reason, and he doesn't do it to just like people like Jeff Hoogland. He'll, like, whenever he's not on just Unsleeved Media, but like on his other channel, whenever he's talking about like a certain person that has like whatever outrage of the day, he'll go to their like Twitter profile and like look at their image, and he'll be like, oh, that's typical, that's a SJW kind of thing. And it's just like really like these low blows. Like, I understand that you're trying to fill in time and get laughs in and for that kind of garbage, but it's just like trashy. Like,
and it's a little bit different when he's doing it solo also. You know what I mean?
What do you mean?
Like, the discussion that we're having here right now, though it is for the audience to consume, it's a discussion between two people, and it's like it's kind of a batting back and forth of and identifying where exactly that boundary is, and where you and I feel that it's acceptable and socially fine to have, like, where that boundary is socially for us. But to go on and do an episode that is just you expounding to the camera about how this person is bad, this person is a hypocrite, this person's parenting methods are substandard, and they should feel bad about it. That's a different animal. It's a different animal to me, because it's not a nuanced discussion. It's accusations. It's points of fact that people that with no back and forth, no even agent to defend Jeff Hoogland within that arena.
Exactly. Like what if you're just the average consumer and you're just watching YouTube videos, and then you're subscribed to this guy and you come across this video and you watch it, and that's all that you think about Jeff Hoogland now on, just because someone wanted to make a click of the day kind of video, quote unquote, exposing someone else's life.
Shout out your average consumer on YouTube, by the way. Great.
Exactly. YouTube. Without y'all, we would literally have no reason to be broadcasting on the internet.
And that guy's an actual YouTuber, your average consumer.
Oh, is he really?
Yeah.
I didn't catch your little joke there.
But obviously. You're right. Shout out to our awesome audience. How's the chat going out there? Or is there lively, nuanced discussion happening out there as well?
There is. So a couple people were talking about, if he thinks that, well, let's say Jeremy kind of brought this all to light because he suspects that, like, maybe it's a bit criminal because it's neglectful, which is like his conduit of anger or strife in this video is the neglect of children. Would you rather report it to the authorities first, or would you expose it to your 145,000 viewers on YouTube to report it to the police for you?
Yeah, hold on. I'm really concerned about these kids, but let me go ahead and make a monetized video about it first.
I need those YouTube dollars, okay? I have to keep myself on the algorithm. Fuck those kids. I need success.
I have an upload schedule, my man. If I don't get that,
dollars,
people ain't gonna watch.
I need them dollars, okay?
Bro, I got an upload schedule.
You don't make money making magic content. What?
Sorry, I talked over you right there.
No, sorry. Go on ahead. I was just making a snide comment.
I got an upload schedule that's more important than these children's lives.
It's true. The life of a Magic the Gathering YouTuber is of the utmost serious business. Yeah. And if you do not take this as serious as you need to be, you got to swim with the sharks, buddy. I'm sorry. Cast you aside. Get the fuck out of here. It's all about that drama, baby. Everyone's got to be talking about something. If you're not talking about something, if you're not part of the conversation, or if you're not the center of the conversation, what the fuck are you doing on the internet? Get off.
This is a strange world we've entered into, my friend. A strange world.
We did it to ourselves, man.
Let's talk about Magic the Gathering cards.
Yeah, so MTG Arena. For our last subject of the day, MTG Arena is the thing. Have you played much MTG Arena at all?
Great pivot, by the way. Bam, right into it.
Got right into it.
I have not played any MTG Arena. I do not know that I don't feel like the client is like quite where I want it. It feels still like Duel of the Planeswalkers. A little bit too much to me. And God, I love I fucking love some physical cards too. I really do. I can't even bring myself to play Magic Online, truthfully. Bro,
Really?
did you just fart on stream?
I did. I had to let go. And I burped too. Did you hear that too?
Nice!
Yeah.
Nice!
Double whammy.
Chat, shout out Nick for farting on stream.
Dude, I've been holding that in for like 20, 25 minutes.
Boom! Blow it up, y'all!
Get it out. Sorry.
Suck it
Sorry
up,
to
kid.
expose all of you to my deepest, darkest corners of my life. I'm sorry.
Magic Arena, though. I mean, if people play it, good for them. It's just not something that I've done a bunch yet, and it's not something where I'm like clamoring to try and get into more of it or anything like that. It's not a high priority for me.
Okay, so let's say you're a new player. You've never played before, and your first experience with the game is in the future, like a year from now. You're playing Magic the Gathering Arena on your phone. And the format more than likely is probably going to be standard. So you're building a little standard deck, right? And you get like a sampling of like a bunch of cards, and most of them are garbage, and you'll grind into wild cards later to actually build your deck. You get cards called like Confront the Assault, Inspiring Commander, Angelic Reward, and they're okay. They're not really that good, but you play with them anyways, and you're really into Magic. So you go to your local game store and you want to build the deck that you have, and you figure it's going to be pretty cheap. It's a bunch of commons and uncommons, and through the grapevine from your other friends that Magic the Gathering is expensive and you want to buy some stuff. However, you come to realize that in your deck in Magic the Gathering Arena, and you want to buy it IRL, cards like Confront the Assault, Inspiring Commander, and Angelic Reward don't actually exist in the real world. What kind of reaction are you going to have?
What the fuck? Flip table? No. I mean, is there anything that fits that's like this that I can play in my deck? Would be the natural thing to ask the shopkeep.
Well,
if in this pseudo crazy future, local game stores still exist.
Right, exactly. Implying that Magic the Gathering Arena didn't take over the entire industry by storm and destroyed every single store.
It just didn't fucking shutter every single local game store. So shut it down, paper.
No more F&Ms. F&Ms are MTG Arena exclusive, and that's when all the shops just fucking tanked immediately.
Play it on my phone.
Response.
I only play Magic on my phone. Ew, cards are for babies.
That takes up too much space. My backpack it requires more important things in it, like snacks, alcohol.
Can I play it on my iPad?
So
that though is one thing that you should be able to do. By the way, is you should be able to play Magic Online on your iPad. Can you do that?
No, but that's what Arena's for eventually. Like, they're building it through the Unity game engine, so which is the same engine that Hearthstone is being built through, and a shit ton of other portable games. So theoretically, it should be able to be on every single playable device in the near future: phones, PC, PlayStation, what the fuck ever. But so what I was talking about earlier is there's a set of 5 cards that was spoiled today for Magic the Gathering Arena, and they're like weird draft bulk. I would assume that like you get these through like weird draft packs or something. I haven't actually looked at the actual announcement myself because I don't fucking care. But so Confront the Assault, 4 and a white for an instant. Cast this spell only if a creature is attacking you, and then you create 3/1/1 white spirit creature tokens with flying. It's garbage. We don't even need to debate it. Inspiring Commander, 4 and double white for a 1/4. So it's got to be really fucking good. Whenever another creature with power 2 or less enters the battlefield under your control, you gain 1 life and draw a card. So
a little better.
Hmm.
It says the 3 magic words, sir.
But you have to pay 6 mana for it.
It says the 3 magic words.
And it requires another creature to enter the battlefield.
That happens all the time. Okay, that's a shitty card. Probably not going to get played, but maybe it will. But maybe
maybe in some garbage commander deck, it can see play. You pair it with a Deadeye Navigator or something, you're golden.
That's a card.
Even though you're playing blue, and you should probably pair it with other things. So the next card is Angelic Reward, 3 and double white, enchanted creature gets +3/+3 and has flying.
That's garbage, dude.
It's no Angelic Destiny, that's for damn sure.
That's what the fuck I'm saying.
Right?
That's a good card.
Very good card. And then we have Tactical Advantage, a single white for an instant. Target blocking or blocked creature you control gets +2/+2 until end of turn. So it's a normal combat trick. You'd probably see this in any random ass set anyways. And then the final card is Spiritual Guardian, which is 3 and double white for a 3/4. So this is the most fair body that we've seen yet. When Spiritual Guardian enters the battlefield, you gain 4 life. So this is the actual most playable card out of all of these, but it's still not really that great. However, they are Magic the Gathering Arena exclusive, and you can only get them digitally. Now, if we were to go down the rabbit hole and let's say Wizards happens to make a mistake, or not a mistake, but they intentionally print cards that are good on Arena, where they have this separate standard made, because that's what's going to happen. They're going to have regular standard, and then they're going to have MTG Arena standard, I assume. Either that, or it's just going to be MTG Arena standard in general with just these cards, which is probably more than likely what's actually going to happen. So you're going to have IRL standard with all your IRL cards. You're going to have MTG Arena standard with all these random fucking junk cards and maybe potentially a good card. And then all the way over in China and Taiwan, I think, you have the Global Series Mu Yan Ling and then whatever the other one's name is, which is its own separate standard format because they're allowed to play with the Global Series cards, but us dirty Americans are not allowed to play. So you mean to tell me, Wizards of the Coast, that in 2018 you managed to create 3 separate standard formats while also having a shit ton of cards banned in your initial standard format?
Man, the indignation that I hear in your voice, sir.
This is the stupidest fucking idea I've seen from Wizards of the Coast in not a long time, like maybe a week or so, but still. Oh my fucking God, it's so bad.
Bro, they're bread and butter limited cards. It's okay. It's not like they're playables, man.
They don't have to be playables. It's the precedent that's being set.
Dude, you're not talking about like the Constitution right now. You're talking about Magic the Gathering.
Yeah,
like,
it's never been like this before. In the past 25 years of Magic the Gathering, it's been like a fully translatable standard across all platforms, regardless of how you play it.
Are you saying make Magic the Gathering great again? Is that what you're trying to point out right now?
I'm just saying unify it all, man. Make it consistent. Please, for the love of God, just be consistent.
On digital properties, if there's some shitty bread and butter limited cards out there that aren't in actual physical form, that's fine. That's fine. Like if they start putting cards that are like, yeah, and they're essentially functional reprints. Like they're essentially functional reprints, right? Like the one is Staunch Defenders, another one is like a bad Waylay with spirits. The other one is
Waylay or Spectral Procession or whatever. Yeah, a lot of them are like Angelic Reward. It is kind of like a powered down Angelic Destiny, kind of like that. They're not good cards at all, but there is a possibility that they could either accidentally make a good card or they could intentionally make a good card in order to entice players to play Magic the Gathering Arena. That is very much a real possibility that they could try and pull on us. What if they make some spicy ass Karn for Arena? Like a 3-mana, 4 loyalty, +1, draw 5 cards, -4, you win the game. I don't know. What if they make that?
Oh my God. Then Arena is doomed.
Obviously. But what if they make something like something remotely powerful, like a standard powerhouse?
No, that's the thing is that they're not going to do that. They're not going to make a card that is inherently better than what's already printed for this Arena League. They're not going to make some special insert that you can only get in Arena League. I think they're going to run this, make bread and butter limited cards, like a bunch of different versions of Windrake that are just slightly different for MTG Arena. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Kind of like that weird Portal thing where they effectively remade, like, what was it? Bear Cub was a remake of or of like Grizzly Bears or whatever. But
exactly.
This is like a digital version of that. And, that's all well and good if the intention is to be like that for like newer players to like show you the mechanics of the game. This is what white does. You gain life, you bolster your defenses or whatever. Fine. Yep. However, if you make like a Master of Waves or whatever, or some other card of that level for the standard environment, that's when it gets to a real problem. Kind of like with the buy a box promo debacle that's been going on for a while. The first one was Fire Song and Sunspeaker. It turns out it's not really that fantastic. And then this new one from Core 19 is Nexus of Fate, which is a better Beacon of Tomorrows. So I don't know. They're trying these weird exclusive printings in both paper and digital, and I don't like where it's going. Maybe just because it's the change, and the Magic player in me is just like, oh, change. I don't like change. But like this, just it doesn't to me come across as like experimenting, trying something new for the fun of the game. This comes across more to me as experimenting in terms of making money. Obviously, the buy a box promos, yes, because that was meant to help bolster sales in the LGS to bring people back in to buy the boxes. So that makes sense because it works out for them in spades and they actually make money. So, good on them. Continue to do that. That's a good idea. However, with this Arena thing, it's just strange. I don't know. I would just need to see it committed and just like, I don't know, maybe a year's worth of looking at it and seeing how the cards are integrated within standard to really assess on it. But like my initial gut reaction is that this is ultimately not a good thing because it's very confusing for new players.
I think that if it turns out to be a teaching tool and it's a way to get more people to play Magic the Gathering, then they should go for it, dude. Just as long as they don't end up printing cards that are like, oh man, I wish I could play rando X card that's in digital, and it would be good for my commander deck, but I can't play it. That's a situation I'd like for them to avoid if possible, but I don't think they'll do that though. I think they're smarter than that about what exactly they're putting out. Even in their digital products, they're not going to make something that you won't be able to play in paper or that's not going to be represented in MTGO, because they know that that's where the real money is. It's not like this Arena thing. It may just be kind of a crutch to get them where they want to go with MTG Arena. It just to use it as a teaching tool, like I said. And more people should play Magic because it's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, Magic or Wizards has stated officially before multiple times that the goal of Arena is to integrate non-paper players of Magic into playing paper Magic. And that's fine. You can do that. You can make your own Hearthstone clone and try to get people to play Magic the Gathering. But when you do like this weird, confusing shit, like, I don't know. I find it weird. Like, let's just say not these white cards, but let's say a particular red card, like a Shivan Dragon knockoff, whatever. They just name it something different, and then you get shown a Shivan Dragon. Like, I don't know. If I were a consumer and I would come across that, maybe that's just because I have short patience to begin with in the first place. But if I came across that would really put me off. It'd be just like, well, if I wanted to play with digital only cards, I would just go play Hearthstone or Eternal, But then again, they're not super playable cards. So it doesn't really entice me to play those because they're not incredibly playable. But why have digital versions of cards when you can just make your own digital card game,
I think I'm fine with it, man. I really am. Here's something I would like to see. I would like to see, this is a slightly different topic, if that's all right with you.
Go for it.
I would like to see another set where they use old borders and they do some very like old style design, like maybe Mirage borders or like even back to like beta borders or something like that, where they try and
kind of like what the time spiral, the time shifted thing.
Yeah, exactly. I would like to see them do that again. I think that's something that they can do again, and would be neat to see. I mean, like current Magic cards are okay, I guess. I don't like the stock that most of them are on. It's not the greatest. But ever since Dominaria, the stock has been just a little bit better, but not quite to the where it needs to be.
I do not like the feel of the new stock, to be honest. They feel too similar to Chinese counterfeits, in my opinion. The grittiness of it puts me off immediately. Like when I'm sifting through my cards, I can immediately tell what's a Dominaria or what's an M19 card just by sound, just by hearing the scratch. It has its own unique scratch to it, and it annoys the piss out of me. I'm a texture kind of guy, and the textures for M19 and Dominaria cards piss me off, and I have to sleeve them immediately because they just feel gross on my hands.
Yeah, that's where they're going to go anyway. They're going in sleeves, so fuck it, right?
No, they're going in the fucking garbage. That's where they're going. Fuck Chain Whirler. I don't need the playset anymore. Just rip it in half.
You banned, motherfucker.
But all whatever. Right. The cards are still bending, so what was the sacrifice for? I think they feel worse and they still bend.
Better card stock. They need to announce better card stock, or just put better card stock into place and celebrate it with a fucking return to the old borders for one set, and then catapult them back in, or like a set that has insert cards that are. Yeah.
Sorry. Why didn't they do that in Dominaria? Why didn't they bring back masterpieces but as old bordered cards? Like that sort of Feast and Famine Judge promo or the Noble Hierarch Judge promo? Imagine that as masterpieces. That would have been fucking amazing.
Or if in every single pack, one of the cards is old bordered. How sweet would that be? And you can get anything from the set.
Dude, that would be dope.
Right? And then you have...
With that shooting star and everything and just... Oh my god. That would be amazing.
Bro, with the shooting star, if you got a foil... Oh my god. Yeah, that's what they need to fucking do.
They need to bring back the old border for something. Just once. Just one thing. Like maybe one side product. Like a dual deck. Or they don't make dual decks anymore. But it's just like something for the old players. Because, they'll try to reprint cards or like, bring back the Elder Dragons. Be like, oh, look, we're catering to you older players. You know what would really cater to them? Bring back the cards that they grew up and loved playing with.
Yeah, dude. Okay, that's actually an excellent idea that you just touched on right there. If they brought back a dual deck that was like 93, 94 league, like those really old cards that like Urnums and like Mishra's Factories.
What if they just like reprinted an Urnum-Geddon deck, all gold bordered?
They've done it and I love it.
Oh, they did do it? Okay, well, cool. What if they just redid it? What if they did like a modern take on it or whatever?
I would love that. One of my favorite things in Magic are the World Champions decks. They're some of my favorite possessions. Like all the way back from the first Pro Tour in like 1996, they had those first 8 decks, and then they had 4 decks every year from 1997 through I want to say like 2003 or something like that. All those decks are fire. They're so fun. They're so fun.
They need to utilize that nostalgia, dude. It's a powerful thing. In case you haven't noticed Wizards of the Coast, I'm talking directly to you, even though you haven't watched or you don't watch me. Jurassic World is a thing. Okay, as a huge Jurassic Park fan, I was really pissed off from 2002 to 2014, not knowing or just wishing that I would get a Jurassic Park movie, but just like, nope, number 3 killed the entire franchise. It's fucking dead. But then they're like, no, money, dude. There's a bunch of millennials that would go watch a Jurassic Park sequel. So they made one. Why can't Wizards do that? I mean, they kind of did that with Dominarian, bringing back some random-ass fucking characters like Squee and Moltani and Karn and all that shit. But, like, you gotta actually tap into that nostalgia. You have to open that faucet while you can still draw from it, because it's only temporary. People are going to eventually get burnt out on the whole nostalgia pandering. You might as well, take it while the getting or whatever. I can't fucking talk or think.
Get it.
You understand what I mean.
Get it.
Thank you. Yes.
I think you're very much right on that, but it comes in cycles though. There are phases where people are nostalgic about something. Like you could rehash certain like blocks of time, move on to the next block, move on to the next block. Like I think that would be a fine thing to do. They kind of tried to do it with master sets, and that's fine. But I think a nice like box set of like some dual decks of 93, 94 League would be fun, or like some old school. Like championship style decks, that would be really dope, dude.
Imagine if like Wizards released like a $250 like battle box of just like the best of decks from like 93 to like 98 or whatever, from like beginning up to like Urza's. Just like 8 decks. You get like the Necropotence deck, you get the Armageddon deck, you get the Tolarian Academy Phyrexian Processor deck. You get all of it.
You're speaking my language right now. I like it. But then you have the problem of their decks that can't be played against each other. So you got to do it in sets of 4 so that you can play them off against each other.
Exactly. They brought back the anthology series pretty much. Like, what if you just did like the anthology, because they originally did it with dual decks, right? So you could pit off random ass dual decks like the Garrick deck versus the Jace deck or whatever, or the Liliana deck versus the Goblin deck. They weren't meant to be played together, but that was like part of the appeal, is like you could do that, and they were being reprinted. If they were to bring back these old cards, but like gold bordered or silver bordered or whatever, to signify that they're not legit reprints, I think that would sell very well. Especially for Commander players who don't give a fuck about proxies in the first place and would love to bling out their deck with gold cards. Sign me up.
Gold borders look so stupid in people's EDH decks.
Really? You don't like it?
They look so stupid.
No, I love it. I love when people play that weird shit. I like it when people play white borders. I love that.
Oh God.
I was planning on white bordering one of my decks, just de-bordering an entire deck.
Oh, that's wrong, and you should feel bad about it.
Like full art basics from like Zendikar, so the ones that are actually worth like $1 or $2 a piece. Yeah, I'll go there. I don't care.
What
about that appeal, that aesthetic, my dude?
You know what smells is that opinion, and I'm not about it.
Well, I'm sorry to inform you of that. It's consistent with me. You should know this by now. I like trashy. I like weird.
Oh,
I like bad.
You like gaudy?
I have Jace Tribal. Okay, that's what kind of a Magic player I am. I will play Illusionist Stratagem and Commander because it's one of the only options I have available. But that's besides the point.
and just like that, I am also the guy who makes like block decks from 1999 and like decks from back in the day that I played and loved, and that's one of the things that I love the most. Champ decks and old standard decks and old like block decks and stuff. I just find them so fun and fascinating because you can like go and show people what old Magic was like from back in a particular time. Like there's nothing more fun to me than sitting down with somebody and like busting out the champ decks and being like, okay, we're playing the like Tempest Saga, like the ones with Sly and
the original like on curve red deck Sly.
Yeah. Okay, so that one is like Tempest Mirage. So you have Sly, recurring survival, the mono blue deck, and the other one's like White Weenie, and they all play together nicely. Even though White Weenie's trash.
I was about to say, what was in the White Weenie deck? Was it like Rebels or something?
No, it was like guys with a bunch of protection from colors and first strike and stuff like that. And then you have Imperial armor and shadow guys and shit like that. It was a fine deck for the time, but not. I mean, it's not recurring survival, and it's not the mono blue Drago deck with one rainbow fruit to kill people with and stocking stones. Now that's a deck.
That's the ultimate grind get you deck.
Or like
stocking stones.
You sit down with somebody and you're playing Tinker against their what was in the format at the time? Tinker and like
what would you Tinker for? Like Dreadnought? No, you can't get Dreadnought. What would you get?
Phyrexian Processor was the target.
Oh yeah, duh. I already said that earlier.
And
Phyrexian Colossus? Oh, yeah, that's the one that like ETB's tapped, right? It's like a 7/7 or something like
you
that.
just vault to key it back.
Yeah.
It's fine.
It's playable.
It's so good, dude. It's so God. Those decks are so busted. Seriously. And there's nothing more fun than just sitting down with somebody and being like, this is how Magic used to be at this time, you know, in its infancy, when Wizards was still making terrible mistakes on the power levels of cards.
You thought standard bannings were bad. Now, let me show you a card called Memory Jar.
Yeah.
Let me show you a card that never even saw standard play because it was so fucking good. It got pre-banned.
The stuff that gets snapped up first pick in people's cube drafts today, that was the standard of my day. So
getting to play with that extra powerful shit, my dude.
Extra salty.
I think we're going to go ahead and end the show for tonight. Mr. McBee, where can we find you on the internet?
Please don't. At Beefcake Rocks on Twitter and Instagram.
Very cool, very cool. Any other platforms that you'd like to share? Or because I know you don't really promote it for like Magic stuff all that much. You do your like Instagram. I see you like showing off like you eating all that good food and shit. But like, when are you going to get on that Mana Dorks thing and you're going to be my marketer? Because I know for a fact I'm absolute trash at marketing.
Yeah, that sounds fine. I'll do it.
All right, cool. Leading on to that, you can also find us on our official Twitter page at Mana Dorks Cast. You can always find me here on this very channel that you're watching, and you can also find me on Twitter at Tasty Snackies. Anyways, this has been Mana Dorks Podcast, episode 3, episode titled Thoughts, Beefcakes, and Douchebags. Anyways, my name is Tasty Snackies. This has been McBee.
Word.
You all have been wonderful, and I'll catch you on the flip side.